Hi, I'm Sifu Dominic Békés and welcome to this video introduction to the Wing Chun weapons. I'm running through the Bart Dao or 8/blade butterfly sword form so you can see what we're actually working with. After this I'll go into the instruction of the Tong Dao, the upward slash figure of 8 section of the form, so you can get a feel for that. It'll give you an idea of the content that I have put into a 4-part video series on the butterfly sword form, which is streaming now from the British Wing Chun Kung Fu Association website. The link to the website is in the description box below this video. I hope you enjoy this introduction to the Wing Chun weapons, and if you would like to learn this form step by step, follow the link to the website. I hope you enjoy this video.
Come back for the Tong Dao upward figure of 8 section of the form. So in the form you've got 1, 2, 3, and then you go to a double bong and then you step through, coordinating from your elbow and your wrist together to come through for the cut. And this is you cut one side and to deflect, deflect, cut, and then you cut. You've got another technique where you deflect, deflect, cut on this side, and the two are put together. So you got deflect, deflect, cut, deflect, deflect, cut, and then that is deflect, deflect, cut, deflect, deflect, cut, and then those two are put together in this routine, 3 of them, and then step forward. The same thing with the empty hand, being able to direct your energy to the tip of the knuckle, trying to get the energy into the palm, so that from the elbow. So everything comes from that elbow. The sword being the extension of your arm, so you do the same thing with the sword. And you'll find with the pole, it's the same with the pole. The energy is concentrated at the elbow. So when you do the pole, you're doing exactly the same thing, coordinating both arms to get the energy out to the tip of the pole. Bruce Lee did a lot of work on his forearms because he realized with this coordination of getting the energy from the elbow to the tip of the strike. Whereas if you just hold the fist as a fist and hit with the fist, you're not actually getting the muscular energy out. You're hitting from the shoulder rather than an internal strike.
I see. What's the difference between a Kung Fu punch and a karate punch?
Well, a karate punch is like an iron bar, whang. A Kung Fu punch is like an iron chain with an iron ball attached to the end, and it go whang, and it hurt inside.
Okay.
The pole, if you're right-handed, then the pole is coming, the strike is going to your right side. Whichever is your dominant hand is further down the pole. Yeah. You'll find when you're doing it, the control comes down the one that's furthest down the pole. I mean, there's nothing that stops you training both sides.
So I guess with the pole you've got to be more. I know you've got the whole distance on your side.
Yes.
I suppose you've got to read the other person earlier with the pole, I guess, with their movements, because of the time it takes to react and travel or whatever, do you think? Or?
Well, I think because you have the distance away from the other person allows you some time. The biggest problem is not allowing them to bridge on you. So you're having to be quite protected in how you're using that distance. They're sort of married together, those two weapons, because a lot of the defenses in the pole are designed to keep the sword away, and you'll find a lot of the movements in the sword are designed to try to get in on the pole. So those two weapons, their development has been very, as you might expect, being the two weapons of the Wing Chun system. They're very yin-yang to one another. So yeah, how you use the pole to defeat the sword and how you use the sword to defeat the pole. And as they, yeah, it's very interesting. And as they both are the sort of the base of a lot of the other weapons. Like with the pole, they then put on the sword on top of the pole, or the chopper or whatever that they have on with it, or the spear. A lot of the movements of the pole relate to all the other weapons that use the pole as its base. Yeah, if you have somebody that can just if Amy can just bring the strike with the pole down, and then you can make an adjustment to deal with the pole, and then a downward strike, and then so if there's a downward strike to the leg, because of course the pole, they're always trying to attack the knee and the ankle with the pole, so you can as the strike comes down to the leg, you can do a gang. T-step back to protect that leg, protect that lead leg, and then and they expose the wrist, and then again you come through for your cut. So it all becomes quite logical. You know, if you're there and somebody strikes the leg, you defend you bring that leg back. Hence that whole thing about the surprise of the sword, because the guy with the pole goes in, and then all of a sudden your counter-attack springs from your defense. Or he comes in with the pole and you deflect, and then you go back in again. So it's which is the same thing that you would do in the empty hands in Wing Chun. You deflect, change the angle, deflect the force, and then you go back in and counterattack.
Your technique should be counter-attack, don't block. So if he throws a punch at me, I block. He throws another punch, I block. Block. What's gonna, I ended up over there, landing on my backside, and he'd be kicking me, right? But he throws a punch, right? Bang, right? So I counter-attack straight away. Do you put pressure back on that person? So he'd be landed up over there, right? So you must use counter-attack, right? So that's why I teach you to watch the elbow, cover the elbow, so you're in position to counter-attack.
When you get very involved in the teaching and the movements and everything else, you kind of have to go back into the sparring and go back into the chi sao and then the sparring, so that it wakes you back up again to the fact that, oh, hang on, I need to put pressure on him.
Yeah, that video you put up with Mark,
yeah.
Straight away you can see William's just knocking him down back and finishing him straight away, not even giving him a chance.
Yes.
And it's the same with the one when you did the breakdown of.
Yes.
He's not giving the other guy a chance, he's just knocking him down straight away, back.
That's right. When he was staying here, after dinner one time, we had, and we put on, back then it was called Bushido, there was Bushido fighting before UFC. And William said to me, he said, Dom, look, I'm pretty good at picking fighters.
And I said, Dom, look, I'm very good at picking winners, in fights. I say, a short person always has advantage over a tall person, because the short person is relatively slower. So among five fights, and we pick 4 winners. One of them, they run out of park, so it's really, the one that we picked lost is run out of park. We're going to get 5 out of 5. But it's standard gravity. Fighting is all about balance.
He would always say to me, look, you're competing for 0.11 of a second. He would say that straight punch, that's 0.11 of a second. So you're competing for 0.11 of a second, and if you have the better balance than the other person, then you're going to have an advantage over the other person. Obviously there's more involvement, because you also have to be able to control your breathing, you have to be able to relax so that you can coordinate, control your heart rate, and then you can bring out your techniques from your subconscious, from your contact reflex training. But that's the basis of it.